When I was living in Destin, Florida, one of my very best friends, whose last name was Bacon, um, he was in his 70s or perhaps 80s, I don't remember now. But I used to have him over for dinner quite often because he lived alone, and his son, his only son, by the time he was 30, already had the largest captain's license to run any vessel in the world, and he was working for Exxon Valdez. Now, his family could trace their heritage all the way back to Francis Marks Bacon. Okay, they come from that long line. So his stories were always fascinating. Now, he lived growing up on an island in Mississippi that was a palace, and it was a resort for all the elites to come to. Truman, Clark Gable, all these different celebrities would go there, and they had a old leather registry where they would sign in. Now, because he was like myself, an only child, he was around adults all his life, so he listened to the stories. And I used to love to listen to his stories because he would tell stories of what Destin used to look like prior to it becoming what it is today. There was nothing there. There was turpentine trees all the way to the water. Now, these turpentine workers needed entertainment. So, of course, the powers that shouldn't be, who have been here a long time, brought in gambling, drugs, and prostitution. So, this area, once they chopped down all the trees, they had to build a city over it, just like they do everywhere they go. Now, his great-great-grandfather was lab partners with Thomas Edison, okay? And there's pictures, not photoshopped pictures. These are real pictures of them working in the lab together, and also real blueprints from the first electric. And it does not include coal, nor does it include gas. So after they chopped down the mountains and, altered the shape of the world, which we can see from a lot of the maps, and of course they've been named something different. But Florida had to do something with all of this desolate land that they had left. So they planted trees that were not indigenous to the region in the beginning. And they planted these turpentine trees and started the slave labor industry for the turpentine. Now, these workers had to have entertainment, and so did the slave masters. And that started the gambling, the drug running, and the prostitution, especially in the Destin area. I know this because of Mr. Bacon. But this turpentine industry was, brutal, same as the textile industry. So it was used for a lot of wooden boats. The resin was, used for a lot of things during that time period. And they brought in workers that they, had in these camps. And most of them were young children. I'd say 16 to 18. And they didn't care how long they lasted because they'd replace them in a second. So it was a very brutal industry. Now, there's a salt mine, one of the largest salt mines in the world, and the equipment that they use is massive. And it's under Lake Huron in Michigan. And they're mining the crap out of that area, even under Detroit. That's why a lot of these trees nowadays that we see with no roots on them have no roots because they're doing a lot of mining underground. That's the humming that people hear. That's a lot of the noises that they hear is underground.